Hello guys, and welcome back to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. Okay guys, so in today's video I'm going to show you guys how to cut and sew a trouser with zipper fly and then two front pockets. So it is a very simple tutorial. So at the end of this is actually the first fitting, so I was just trying it out here. That's after joining all of my pieces together to make sure it is okay, to see what to adjust. At the end of the day there was really nothing to adjust. So just the waist part, I think I'm going to still hold the waist part a little bit, but see, the crotch area was perfect. So guys, so let's just get started. So I laid my fabric on the table, so we're going to add some lines: the waist, the hip, the crotch, and the knee line. So first you come up by 2 inches, because that 2 inches is going to be for my waistband. So that's my hip line, and then the next line is my crotch line, and then so you can, I'm just trying to check, and then the next line I have there is my knee line. Okay, so you can see, like I said, I placed the tape 2 inches upwards because I'm going to use that 2 inches for my band, and then that's for the waistband, that's the full length. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to come to the side to add our measurement. I'll come to the side of the waist. I'll come in by 1 inch. So I just came in by 1 inch. Just take a look at it, and then I'm going to blend that into my hip line. So this is just like to create like a shape. You know, when we're cutting skirts, we used to blend, cut, like curve your waist. But that's just basically what I'm trying to do. So I'll blend that in. And then the next thing, now we're going to add my waist measurement. So for the waist measurement, you divide your waist measurement into 4. And then you add that measurement, whatever you have, use your own applicable measurement. And then if you want to add a dart to this trouser, you add 1 inch dart also, and then you add like 1 inch stitching allowance or 1.5 inch stitching allowance. Okay, so on my hip line now, I'm going to divide my hip measurement also. I'll divide that into 4. Use your own applicable measurement, like I said, and then I'm going to add it, and then just add my stitching allowance. Okay, so for the crotch line, I'm going to tell you guys, so don't freak out. So on the crotch line, that is where we're going to add our thigh measurement. That's our lap measurement. That's your round lap. So to get your crotch and depth, that's that line from the waist, you divide your hip measurement into 4. You add 2 inches, or you add 3 inches. Okay, so that's how you actually get that crotch depth. For those of people that will ask me how did I do it, so after that you connect all of those points. Okay, so like I said, the waistline, the hip line, the crotch line. So you place all the measurements and then you blend them, just slant them, blend all of them. And then after blending that, you slant it into your knee line. So depends on, because I want my trouser to be straight, so I'm using the same measurement on that crotch line for my knee. So it's the same thing. In case you want a slimmer trouser, you can reduce the measurement at this point. Okay, so now I'm trying to blend them all in. So the next thing, after blending, it is a simple process. I'm going to come to the down part. I'll come in by, on that down part, I'll come in by half of an inch. So I'm going to come in by half of an inch, and then I'm going to blend that into my knee line. So this is just like a way, just like for you to like shape the trouser a little bit. So that's basically what I'm trying to do. So I came in on that down part, I came in by half of an inch, and then just I'm just trying to blend it. Okay, so at that down part now I'm going to add my, how wide I want my trouser. So for this I think I used about 12 inches. So you can use 10. So you add that line. So after adding it, with the allowance is already included. So now I'm going to blend it into this part now. Blend it, connect it back to the knee line basically. So that's all for cutting for drafting the front part of our trouser or female pants, whatever you choose to call it. So now I'm just trying to cut this out. So I'll just go ahead. So after cutting, I'm going to take, okay, I'm still trying to cut it. I'm not done cutting it yet. So I wonder why so much. So I was just trying to show you guys, so that's why I left it. I would have just edited everything out, but I just want you to see how to cut it. So now take another piece of fabric, fold it into two, and then I'll place the front pattern. So I'll come up by 2 inches. Yes, so because it has to, the back has to be a little bit bigger, so I came up by 2 inches. That's what I'm the line that you see me marking, and then I'll blend it into the waistline. You can see how it's slanted to the front waistline, and then on the crotch line I came out by 2 inches, and then so you can see the 2 inches. So that's just basically all. So I'm blending that, just trying to connect it together. So as it is going up, please note so yes, as it is going up, it is I'm just blending it into that waist part. Okay, I'm blending it into that waist part already. So from that part, that 2 inches, so I'm just going to still maintain that 2 inches on the back piece. So but most times what I normally do, as I'm going down, I will just be reducing my hand small small. I don't usually take the full 2 inches down. So I'll just, at the end of the day, it's going to remain like 1 inch, which is okay. I've tried this method and it has worked perfectly well for me. So on the waist side, I'll just come out a little bit because of the dart on the back piece. Okay, so you see that's what I'm trying to say, in case you want to add a dart to it. So after that, I'm just going to cut out. That's all for cutting out a trouser or a pant. For those of you that don't know how to do that, you can see it's a simple process. Okay, so you just cut out everything. So you can see from the picture or from the image on the table, you can see that the back is higher by that 2 inches, and then you can see the crotch area also, it came out by another 2 inches. So now the next thing we're going to do, now we're going to add our pockets. So for the pocket, I came measured 7 inches and then 2 inches inside. I actually forgot to subtitle this part. So just 7 inches length and then 2 inches inside, and then cut off like that. You can see how I'm cutting that off. And then that waistline, so I'm sloping my waistline. You know what we normally do when we're cutting skirt, right? That you just slope the down waistline small. So the next thing, now we're going to cut our pocket. So my cutting my pocket, I just got a fabric, folded it into four. I have about 7 or 8 inches there about. So you can see I'm trying to place it to eyeball it, like check. Okay, so on that part, I'm checking the length. The length was about 12 inches there about. So I'm trying to, I think I was trying to reduce it. Yes, I'm trying to reduce it a little bit, so it's not, when trouser pocket is too long, it would be looking very stupid. So that's what I was trying to do. So I'm trying to double check. So it got to about 11 or so. So I'll open that piece. So like I said, when I folded it is about 7 inches on fold. Okay, so that's flat open is 14. So now I'll take that piece. I just placed it flat on my table, and then place that pocket side, right side facing right side. Okay, and then I'm going to blend it around just like I explained with my hand. It is under that down part is the good side of my fabric. You can see the chalk on the wrong side, so I'm stitching on the wrong side. The fabric is laying flat. I did not bend it. I've not bent it. So after cutting, that's when I will now trim out the pocket. So some people normally trim out first, but me, I usually don't trim it first. I prefer to do it this way. It makes it easy and neat for me. So after that, the next thing, I'm going to bring that out and then I'll iron it. So after ironing it, so you can see it's still looking flat. Okay, so I just want you to note, I'll just take it out now from that back and just bend it and bring it back. So you can see, so I'm trying to explain that again. Just bend it, bend it inside. Now you now bend it and bring it to the side of the pocket that we trimmed out. Okay, so that's just it. So when you bend it and you bring it out, it's going to be now be looking like this. You can see. So this thing can be confusing. I remember the first time I was trying to make this, it was a lot of work for me. But once you master it, it's a simple thing. So I'll just pin it down like this. So after pinning it down, I'll stitch that top part just to secure it. And then for this part, this down part of the pocket, you can curve your pocket, you can leave it straight. So, or you can turn it from the inside and stitch it, or you can stitch it and then hem it later. Depends on what you want. Just do the one as a beginner, do the one that is easy for you. So now I'm trying to secure it down. Just do the one that is easy for you for that inside the stitching. So don't give yourself headache. With time, you will get used to it. You understand the whole technique of the pocket stuff of a pant. Okay, so now that inside now, so you can see what I was trying to say. You put a notch. So my own, I'm trying to turn it so that I'll stitch it. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'll just hold it and bend it like that and then stitch it from the inside. So as I bend it like that now, I'm stitching it from the inside. That's the down part of my pocket. So like I said, you can curve your pocket, depends on what you want. So after everything, I'll just use my hands to push it out. So use my hands to push it out and then arrange it back so you can see. Now I'm trying to pin the side because the sides are not secured. So that's what I'm trying to do. So at the end of the day, you can see how it looks like on the inside. So now I want to secure the side. I just want to stitch it down. You can pin it, but most times I like stitching it down just to make it easier for me. Okay. So I just tried as much. I want to make this video very detailed for those of you that don't know how to actually sew a trouser properly. Okay. So I'm trying to look for the best way because most times you need to make sure that it is laying flat. If not, if you stitch it anyhow, it's going to have bag. The pocket will be puffy. So now you can see both of them. These are the two sides. So the next thing now, we are going to work on our zipper fly, which is like very important. So I have my fabric cut out. I ironed interfacing on them. So I'm going to show you the measurement. So I'm using about 7 inches. So basically use your what do you call it, your zip. And you can see I placed a zip. The other one, this one is flat. I used about 3 inches, and then the other one on that side, that one is 4 inches. I folded it into two. That's the one that is close to the zip. So this one now, you place it like this. Just place it right side facing right side. So I'm trying to mark it so you can see my zip. That's what I use as measurement. So basically that's what I use as measurement to cut out the fabric. The fabric are two. One is flat while the other one is folded into two. Okay, so this flat one now is of about 3 inches. I'm placing it on the right side of that center part of my front. Okay, that's the crotch line. So I'm stitching it. Just watch the way I'm stitching it. It's flat. I'm just still talking so much because I don't want you people to get confused for the beginners. Okay, so I've stitched it down and then I'll cut it open. Okay, and then after cutting it open, the next thing, I'll take it back to my ironing table and iron it. So you can top stitch it. So that part, you can actually bend that part if you want to, but I'll top stitch it. Okay, just to make it sit nicely and properly. That's after ironing. I'm top stitching it. Okay, yes. So after top stitching, you can see this is how it looks like. So now I'm going to take my tape. Why do I keep calling it tape? I'm going to take my zip. I'll place it facing down and then I'm going to stitch it. So watch how I'm stitching it now. You can see it. I'm stitching it on this right hand side. So you can see it, the way I'm stitching it. I'm stitching it on that outer one like that. So after stitching, it's still laying flat. My fabric is everything. So after stitching, you bend it inside. So because it is laying flat, you just fold it inside. So at the end of the day, you can see it is just inside. So the next thing now is for us to secure it down. You know that line that you used to see on crouch on zipper fly. So that's what I'm trying to do. So for this, you have to be careful. It has to be neat. If it is not neat, then it's an amateur that did it. So that is why you can see I'm taking my time so much. So I want to navigate that curve. Is the crouch line. So on top. So you're just going to now you will see it by yourself. Even as you are doing it, you will see it. So you navigate the curve like that of the zip. So navigate it. So I'm taking my time. So this is like the essence of this tutorial. So I'm just making this tutorial for those of you that don't know how to do this. So I'll navigate it, and then after everything you can see how it's looking. So now I've secured my zip, I've secured it down. I'm going to iron it. So now we're going to join them together. To join them together, we're going to take that second piece. You see that second one that we folded into two, that is 4 inches folded into two. You place it under. You can see it is placed on just place it under. That's like a shield just to cover the zipper fly. And then the edge of my crotch line, I bent them down, so it's like fold it down. So I'm going to take it, I'll place it. The shield is under the zip. You can see it, it is under. And then now I'm going to take the second one, the other part of my trouser, the folded part. You can see I'm placing it now on, you can see it, I'm placing it on top of the zip. It is folded already. I folded the edge tiny, like half of an inch, because it has to be neat, it has to be a top stitch. So I'm just trying to arrange it very well. So now I'm stitching it very close to the zip. You can see how I open the zip. You can screenshot it and zoom it so you understand properly. So I'm stitching it down. The other one, like I said, that one of 4 inches, that folded one, is just a sheet that is just under. It's not really doing anything. It's just to cover the inside, okay? But now, see, now my crotch, now I'm stitching it on that zip. That's crotch line, that crotch curve. So you can see after stitching, so you can see what I was trying to see. You see it's like a shield down there. So after securing it to that zip part, you can see, so the other parts now I'm going to bend them, that crotch, the remaining part of the crotch depth. So you fold it and bend them and place them on top of each other. I'm going to stitch it. I'll give it a top stitch. So you will see it even as you are sewing it. You will notice it. You will just see it. It will be blending because I've already folded the edges of my crotch line. That crotch line. So everything. That is why it's a zipper fly. Everything is just there. So you just blend it. Just, you can see I'm trying to use my hand to make sure, because I need it to be very neat. So on this part you really don't want to rush anything, okay? So that is why you can see I'm taking my time so much to explain this. So you just place it down like that, and then you secure it down. Okay, so after securing it down, that's it, you are done. So you are basically, you have joined the front crotch, and then you've added your zip. You can see it is neat, it's okay, everything looks good. It's just for me to give it a good ironing. So you can see I've opened my zip, I've locked it back, so you can see that part. So for those edges you can just use your serger to serge them. So after that, everything is okay, the inside is okay, you can see the shield to cover it up, everything is fine. So the next thing now that I'm going to do, I'm going to join the back piece, the crotch of the back piece. So I'll hold them on and then use my allowance to just stitch it on, that's the back piece, stitch it on the crotch line, that's the crotch depth. That the crotch basically. So after stitching, you can see, so I've opened it up. So at this point, if you want to add your dart now, you can add your dart to your back piece, okay? So now what I'm going to do now, take the front piece and then I'm going to place them. Excuse me. So I'll place them and then I'm going to sew it on the crotch line. So I pinned it down. That is why you see it's staying like that. So I'll bring the front crotch to the back. I'll place them and then I'm going to sew them. I'll sew one to one side and then sew the other one to the side. Notice I've not joined the side of this trouser yet. It's only the under that I'm sewing now. So I'm stitching them together. So after stitching one side, I'll turn the other side also, and then I would stitch. Okay, so now after that, the next thing is just for me to take the side. I'll just pull them together and then join them using my measurement. to join the side. So after joining the side, so I'm trying to open. I pinned it because when you want to do this, pin the front and the back together so everything stays intact. Okay, so I'll open them up and then take this back to my table and give it a good pressing. Okay, so and then check it. So after checking, so this is the first fitting. I was trying to check it here. So it is okay. So but the waist part is a little bit big. I think I'm going to hold my waist part a little bit, but the crouch, everything looks good. Okay guys, so I'm going to stop this tutorial here. It is getting too over long. So if you find this video helpful, please hit on the like button, connect your